Hello, my name is Ulrich Isermeyer. I'm the Senior BDM for Acrobat, Technical Communication Suite, and Creative Cloud Enterprise at Adobe Systems in Germany, in Munich. In the next 45 minutes, I will talk about the interactive and 3D side of a PDF file at work. Before I start, I would like to talk about some theory, and then we will look into 3D and forms. So the first thing what you can see here is the content of a PDF file, which is a PDF of a 32,000 standard, PDF 1.7. And there you can see the first three rows. That's what I'm talking about today. We will talk about a little bit about audio and video. We will talk about 3D models. We will talk about forms. The other two parts, security and document extensions, can be connected to all those three parts and can interact with each other. But I will not focus on the security and document extensions part. So what you can see here as well, that the 3D model can include not just the 3D facet model, but it can also include the complete product structure of a CAD model. It can include the geometry if it's a facet model or a BREP model. It can include also PMI data like dimensioning. Also, you can include metadata to the 3D part of a file. With forms, I will talk about a little bit later. We will talk about Acroforms and we will talk about XDF file, which is the XML part of forms. So let's look into a 3D PDF. And if you look at the 3D PDF, the first thing what people throw in one box is they compare, for example, a JT file with a 3D PDF, which is comparing apples and oranges, which is not the right way. You should really look into the format. PDF is a document and a CAD file, like a JT file or something different, is just a CAD file. So the CAD file itself is embedded into a PDF file, and what formats we use inside the PDF is a U3D and a PRC file. We will talk a little bit later about the differences between those two types. So what you can see here is that you can have different types of information on a PDF document which can interact with the 3D model itself. So the upper left corner there you can see that you have a presentation layer that you can, for example, link different words with different parts of the model. So if you click on something highlights, for example. In the yellow part, that's the 3D data, which is converted out of a CAD system, which is in U3D as a facet model or in PRC as a BREP or facet model. On the upper right corner, you can see that you have, for example, a submit button where you can export data out of this document, which can be derived out of a 3D data and a form, for example, and send that as an XML file to somebody. So you can also, what you see on the right corner here, put some form fields inside the document, and the user itself can, for example, put some comments in or just choose what he wants to see in the model. So all this different kind of content can be interacted with each other. So I will come later to examples where I show you in different examples how that works. So what is the reason that we need another 3D format or a 3D document? The reason is pretty simple. If you look at this graphic, you can see that the CAD designers, they work in the highlight green area, in the light green area. They work with native CAD files. They need all the information. They need the parametrics. They need all the logics why this model works like it works. And so the complete knowledge is inside the CAD files. To collaborate with some engineering companies, you normally just use also CAD files which are not so heavy, which are a little bit lighter, but there you need CAD viewers or viewers which can really interact with also CAD files from the native system and look into really very detailed areas, so you can have a detailed view on the CAD file without having the CAD system. On the right side, you see the yellow bubble or the orange bubble. That's the one where 3D PDF comes into game. Because with this format, you can reach everybody. Almost everybody has installed an Adobe Reader as a viewer, and there is no plugin needed to have access to a 3D PDF file. Even an employee of a bank can access to a 3D PDF file. Most of them don't know because they don't receive 3D PDF files, but they could because it's built into the viewer. So 3D PDF is used in all kind of markets. So the main markets for 3D PDF is of course manufacturing or the consumer industry. Everybody who is manufacturing product and which has a product which is a little bit more complicated, there it's very obvious that 3D PDF helps in all kinds of areas in the manufacturing itself, for example for work instruction, but also for other areas like if you look on the right side, technical communication or technical documentation, or even sales and marketing departments who can use those product data, those 3D data, and work with that in the sales or in the after sales, for example, for service manuals or for different other documentations. Also, the middle part is something where 3D PDF is well accepted in the building industry, architecture, engineering, construction, for example. There are a lot of cases where 3D PDF helps a lot to understand the complete concept of the building, to have collaboration without having a CAD system installed, and you can communicate a lot better if you have an interactive 3D model. Also in the GIS area, for example, if you have digital terrain models, you can walk through a GIS file in 3D with 3D PDF. We can have a look later on. So if you look at the different workflows, also here in manufacturing, that's what I said before, we have it in all kind of areas, not only in the manufacturing itself, but also for requests for proposals or requests for quotations, where you can easily store the 3D CAD data in a 3D PDF file, combine that with form fields and get an offer from a vendor about a price of these different parts, and you can collect that very easy. In the past, that was done with a zip file and put together a 2D TIFF file, for example, of a CATIA drawing, plus an Excel spreadsheet, plus a text, and that was sent back. So it was all manual and it was a nightmare to get those data together. So with 3D PDF, you can really have that in one file. Technical documentation, of course, that's a very low-hanging fruit for 3D PDF, because if you have products which have to be explained a lot, that's really easy to do that in a 3D PDF file and have it as a technical documentation. Also for field management, field service management, for work, for disassemblies of different parts. That's a really nice area. And of course the training area where you can simulate on different kind of products, machines or buildings. So before we get into the formats which I just mentioned before, U3D or PRC, I would like to have a look inside a 3D PDF. So let's have a look in one example. That's a work instruction of an automotive part, which is an axis with brakes, and you can see here also the gears, the gearbox, and so the first thing what you can recognize, you have a form field here, which is highlighted in blue. You have not just a picture but a 3D model. With the left mouse you can turn, with the right mouse you can zoom, and with both mouse buttons you can pan. If this picture is too small, you can right mouse button click and, for example, have a full picture view of this model. So also the PDF viewer in this term here, it's the Adobe Reader, can be used as a CAD viewer without having any plugin installed. So you can really look at this data. But that's not the only thing what you can do. You can go one step further. So if you click on this tree structure here, you can see that in the 3D PDF file, the complete structure of the CAD model was also here translated in a 3D PDF file. And you can click either on the part and have the part number here, or you can go here and say, okay, I don't want to see that, so you can disable that. Also, you can go here and say, for example, please show it in an isolated view mode. So it's very interactive and you can go through the tree structure. But for normal users, probably that's a little bit too complicated. And that's why, for example, you can put different buttons here on the PDF file or form fields, and there you can interact. So for example, if I click on this axis, you see here in this field where my hand symbol is, the part number. Also here, you can see the part number of this gearbox, and so on. So that's also very easy to interact and have a view on the system and see the metadata. Also, different views from the CAD system are stored here in the file. So you can go here on the left side and just go through this different parts, and also there are some nice texts which can be moved in the 3D area and still watch the model. And if I just switch that off on the left side, you can make this PDF fully interactive. So not only the CAD model is stored here, you can also switch on, for example, this toolbar. And if I click on that, you can see that the different views can be used here. So you can say, for example, I want to turn, I want to move, I want to pan, I want to fly. Also, I can say I want to measure. So that's also a nice possibility to measure a part like this. You can see even that the dimensioning can be used, and you can see exactly how big this brake is. Also, you can see that you have different kind of displays. So, for example, if you want to go into the illustration modus, that's also possible. So you can zoom a little bit further, and it depends how the model is stored, how that will look later on. Different views are possible. Even the transparent view is something which can be used in some areas, so if there is some internal parts of that. If you want to have a deeper look into a model, you can use cut sections, and let me just show it in the large screen. So those cut sections, they are also very easy to move. For example, you have this dialog box, and then you can turn the different axes. So if I have X, Y, Z, and then you can cut through this model, for example, like here. And also you can, for example, have a filled cut section, so the closed areas are filled. So that's the cut section, and there are a lot more things available, like lightning and so on. I just wanted to show you how you use a 3D PDF. Let's have a look at also some other things which I would like to show you. For example, I want to show you that animations are possible. So sorry, I just click that off. So the cut section is away again, and then I go into the animation. So if you click on that, you can see exactly what's happening here. And this is a U3D file which has the animation stored inside the file itself as a keyframe animation. And if you can see, you can click through these different steps. You see exactly what you are talking. And if you look at the texts here, also the texts are changing between the different steps. If you want to see that as a complete animation, you can just start that here, go in the full screen mode and have a look during the animation how this model gets assembled and disassembled. So that's a very easy and straightforward usage of a 3D PDF. And as I mentioned before, you can not only have a normal facet model, you can have also really real BREP models. And let's have a look, because you can go here and say, okay, please export those data in a different CAD format. And there you can see you can go into a step, Parasolid, IGES, PRC, which is a native file format, or U3D, which I have used as well here. So it's possible to have that available and export that into these different formats. So 3D PDF, of course, does not just take the CAD model and translates that, and it's a huge file. It can compress this file. And if you look at that graphics here, you can see that the compression of a U3D tessellated file can be up to 3% of the original file size. If you do that with PRC, then you have a exact PRC file with 1% of the file size. So we can say it's up to 150 for the compression if you use PRC, or up to 1 to 30 if you use U3D. Of course, you can do a lot of things before you translate that with a CAD system, so you can reduce phases and so on. But if you have the original file, it works like that. And this graphic shows that both formats are included into ISO 32000. We have as a U3D just a tessellation model. It's very well usable for technical documentation, and the file comes with keyframe animation, so the animation is stored inside the file, but you can also animate those parts with JavaScript. You can use textures and lightning. If you use a PRC file, there it's mainly used for collaboration. as I said before, you can export that to, for example, a step file. You can use it for archiving, and that's the presentation from my colleague here from ProStep, who talks about PRC and the PDF-E2 standard, the ISO standard, because there you can archive a BREP model, and it preserves all the metadata, the tree structure, and it is an exact model. The animation can be only done with JavaScript, and you can see an example later on where I can show you what else is possible. For example, PMI, which is not possible in U3D. What you can see here is an example out of the architectural area where you have a folder for planning and expose for architects. And if you look at this example, you can very easy navigate through this model. So you can show different 2D drawings with different layers here, for example, with dimensioning or without dimensioning. So it's very easy to switch on and off the layers. Then you can, for example, have different cut sections. And here, behind this picture, you can have a 3D PDF. You just click on that picture, and then you have different buttons which interact with this model. For example, if you want to look that in a full screen mode, you just click on this button and you can really go through this building and have a look at that. Also, what you can see here is textures which are stored inside the U3D file. If I look a little bit further, you can have different pictures, and in this area you have another 3D model, and this is very easy to use because you just click on the different buttons here and you can navigate inside the 3D PDF building. For example, if you want to go to the kitchen or to the living room, it's very, very easy to navigate in this 3D PDF file. So that's just an example out of the AEC area with U3D. If I want to show you another example which is done with U3D consumer area, I show it on the Mac. So what you can see here is a camera, and there's a Flash integration, so the UI is done with Flash interaction. So for example, if you say please show me how the plugin of a power cable works, you can just start the animation here. Then you can have, of course, some camera highlights. So if you click on here, all those hotspots are done with Flash. So that's done with JavaScript and ActionScript. And you can also, for example, go here and have a little bit of a configurator where you can change the colors of this camera with just this navigation. So that's very easy. And also what's nice is you can start a video here. So for example, if you click on that button, you can insert a Flash video layer inside the 3D PDF model, which is of course very nice for the consumer industry. This is just another example of a U3D file which has textures, which has animation, and also the combination between Flash and 3D. I would like to show you, for example, how you get into a 3D PDF model. So we would go here and have a Pro-E CAD data assembly. That's from a drill. You can see here the assembly data. So we just go here and say, please open the file. I go into this, and then the dialog box starts. I don't want to go through all those data, but the important thing is that you can now decide if you want to have a BREP model, which is a very exact model where you can manufacture parts out of, or if you just want to have a U3D facet model. And there are two different standards. One is the older one, and then the ECMAS 3 standard, which is since ISO 32000 available. You can also go for PRC facet, so no BREP information, or you go for BREP plus tessellation. That's what I want to do. And there you can see that this model will be converted into a 3D PDF model. So once the conversion has been done, all the parts of the CAD model are translated. So here you have the result, and you click on the model, and you have your 3D PDF model. This model, of course, can be very easy moved to a different place, and here you could put buttons, text, whatever, or you can move it into an existing PDF file, which is there. How that works, there are different kind of converters available in the market. I don't want to go through, but it's very easy, and you can see that the tree structure of the CAD model was just taken over. I have a lot of other models available. I want to show you the last example. That's an example out of the architecture again, and I want to show you that the metadata are stored here into this model. So let's go into a cut section view of this ground floor and just click, for example, on a different type of building component. So if I look at this door, this was stored with IFC. IFC is a neutral format in the building industry, and you can see exactly that the metadata of this 3D model was taken over out of the CAD file. I would like to show you the last example. So what you see here is a normal data sheet of a projector, and you have here on the first page you have a description and pictures, and on the second page you have the normal 2D drawing of this projector. Of course, this animation, for example, can be started here. So if I start the explosion view, you can see that you can have exactly the view to all parts of this projector. So the nice thing about that is that 3D PDF can be also combined with JavaScript to a form field, for example. So if this is broken, the loudspeaker, you just say add part to order, and it automatically starts here a second view of a form. And this is a dynamic XML form. So if I, for example, order this also, you can see on the form field that this is also added here. So workflows like that can be also really easy done and combined with 3D PDF. And what I would like to show you here is that you can calculate with a form like that. So you can say I want to have 3 parts of that, and it automatically calculates the price. You can have also, I exaggerate a little bit, 55 screws, and a form field which is dynamic, means if you click on this field, for example, there will appear a form which was not there before. So you can make it really interactive, and it's still a really nice printable form with logo, with everything. You can have a digital signature in here, and you can also, for example, email that as an XML file to the vendor, so you can order the file. There is always the question, what kind of form do you use? Do you use Acroforms, which is a technology existing since Acrobat 3? Or do you use XFA forms, which is an XML type of a PDF form, which can be static or dynamic? So let's talk a little bit about static forms, and then I move over to dynamic forms. And I want to answer the question in the beginning, is that possible to archive forms? The answer is yes, it is, but it has to be more or less flattened. That means you can't store a XFA or a Acroforms form which is still fillable. You have to flatten it. That means there's no JavaScript, no interactivity, no encryption allowed. And the best practice is if you just fill out the form, flatten it, and you can do that if you say save as PDF A1. With PDF A3, you can also attach an XML file, for example, for invoices. But if you do it with PDF A1, then you can only store the flattened form. And flattening is possible with both kind of forms, if it's Acroform or if it's dynamic XML form. So let's talk a little bit about an Acroform. I don't want to read through all this text. I just want to show you an example how an Acroform looks like. And that's also available here. I will show you. So I have, for example, an Acroform which is here. And what you can see here, this is the normal form which is not fillable, so you can't type anything. You can do easily an Acroform out of that if you just say, okay, please do out of this a fillable form. And different programs can convert those form fields into forms. And then you can say, okay, please show me that. And you can see that, for example, you can fill out very easily this form and have all kind of buttons available. Those buttons you can of course modify, whatever, depends which program you have. I'm using Acrobat here in the moment, but also other products are available who can create forms, and Acroforms are the most used forms worldwide. They are static, so you can type in the forms and send that back, and you can pull out the data, of course, out of those forms and have it in an Excel spreadsheet. The errors are almost zero because the user has filled that out and not somebody else has retyped this form. Acroforms can also be a little bit more intelligent. So I would like to show you, for example, something here. That's an Acroform of a catalog. So let's go here and I say, okay, I would like to order for woman this number and fill in the quantity, let's say 3. And then you go on the order itself and you can see that this automatically was filled in. This is one PDF file. It's Acroforms, and it has in the last page here a form, and the fill of this text and the price calculation was done with JavaScript in this Acroforms form. So that's an example. You can do it also intelligent, but this is of course not dynamic. I show you also another example. The next example, which is an XFA form. And I have an example here where you can see that you have, for example, a barcode and here the form field, and you fill out your name. and the barcode automatically is changed afterwards. That's not something which is unusual. You can do it with a lot of technologies, but it's still a PDF file. You can flatten that, you can fax it, and it's still a document which is electronic, usable, and has no errors. And if you say, I want to send that out with, for example, an email, a standard email client, all those XML data which were filled out are attached as an XML file inside your email. So if I double click on this email, for example, you can have a look at this and say, for example, please show me that with an XML viewer, and you see that this data was filled out in a PDF file and was exported out of this XML XFA file. So XML is stored inside the PDF. So all your data from your enterprise applications for ERP system, CRM, and so on can be stored into an XML file. So, for example, SAP is using this dynamic forms. That's an OEM of the Adobe XFA technology to use that for their customers. So you can create an XML file out of your ERP system, fill it into a PDF, send it out to a customer who just has a PDF reader, and then he just fills that out, sends that back, and you can get all those data which the customer has filled out with a normal Adobe Reader back into your ERP system. And inside an XFA form, there's not only a static presentation layer, but also you have the business logic underneath and your XML schemata. So you can merge different data out of CRM, ERP, or other databases into one form, have also a digital signature and a barcode on this document, and still have a PDF which is archivable at the end, and have that as a transport container to do things what you have just seen with the XML and the barcode. I would like to show you as well another example here, and that's my last example for today, which is, for example, a dynamic XFA form which has more intelligence. So, for example, necessary fields are highlighted with red, and for example, you have a data provider for DSL, and you can choose different packages. So I use this one here. And dynamic form means this can not only calculate, but it also can put together a dynamic form. So if I click on the hardware field here, you can see that this hardware field is there, which was not there before. If I click it away, it disappears. So that's also an advantage, that those dynamic forms are still printable, and you can put multiple pages together and they still have a very good layout in comparison to other forms which are not printable anymore. And also the archivable form field looks much nicer. And here you have also a comparison table, what is possible with Acroforms, with static XFA, with dynamic XFA, and also here with XFAF, which is a mixture between both forms. This explains it very well. If you have further questions, just write me an email, and thank you for attention. And yeah, see you the next day. Thank you.